Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jaden with Mazda and I'm back with another very special vehicle. Today we're going to be going over the all-new 2023 Mazda CX-50 Meridian Edition, the fan favorite and what we've been waiting for. So let's go ahead and get into it. So starting off in the front with the styling, because where else would we go? Gonna go right to the hood. In this Meridian Edition package, we're gonna get these nice, cool hood graphics in this satin black color, which looks really cool. We can see this is a nice flat black, and then CX-50 overlaid right here, and then you can see Meridian Edition, which looks really, really cool. And then of course, on both sides, we get some P-shaped emblems as well. Add some care to the hood. Definitely goes really well with the hood bulge right there in the middle. I really like it. Gives it a theme of kind of like this burliness or the manliness, right? Moving on down, looking a little bit lower, with the Meridian Edition, some other things that you're gonna get, really keeping that burly theme alive, is this headlight garnish here in that flat black, which looks really cool around the main LED bulb with the LED daytime running lights as well. And if we're just gonna stay in the general area, looking at the grille surround here, we do get this gloss black grille with this really nice thing I like to do right there with that flat black grille to match. And then moving on a little bit lower onto the front half of the vehicle, gonna check out on both sides. We are gonna get the vent to really emphasize how wide this vehicle really is. All right, you can take a look right through there. That is functional, but it is blocked off on the top half for aerodynamics. Obviously right here, we can see our turn signals LED with that dimming display, our dimming flash relay. Right here in the middle, we have our sensor for things like lane keep assist, lane departure warning, also things like adaptive cruise control, automatic braking, you name it. And then of course, right here at the bottom to finish up, we do see this nice piece finished in the aluminum. All right, and if we're moving on from the front, going a little bit to the side, gonna check out some more styling. One thing to go along with this Meridian Edition is the tire and setup right here. We're gonna check out these nice 18-inch alloy wheels with the black, with the machine surface, the lip. It looks really, really cool. I know a lot of people were really asking about this. Hey, why are these wheels so big on these turbo models? Wouldn't it be beneficial for the wheels to be smaller for off-roading? Mazda hears you. So here we are with the 18-inch wheel. Paired to that are some really nice Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain trail tires, which are really, really nice and quite stylish too, without giving up too much on the road and sounding like a terrible tornado coming down the highway. Ride quality on this is a little bit stiffer compared to say the traditional tire, but you know what? Beauty is one thing you're gonna have to give up for performance, right? Going along with these front wheels here, we can go ahead and check out in the front. We do have these ventilated rotors. You guys can see in there, front ventilated rotors, disc brakes all around. Moving on from the wheels to the overall side silhouette, we can see that Mazda loves doing this coupe-like design, cab rearward design, which looks really, really cool. Gives it a sleek design. This vehicle actually in person is a lot smaller. When you see it in pictures, it looks pretty big. Now lengthwise, widthwise, yes, it is very big, but it is height-wise pretty short, actually shorter than the current CX-5, but a little bit taller than the CX-30. Going over some more styling clues in the Meridian Edition, you're gonna get this nice aluminum trim to break up that black fender plastic. Looks pretty cool. Gonna get the gloss black mirror winglets here and that nice metallic, good sparkle there. And of course, as far as the window trim surround, we're gonna have that flat black with a little piece of aluminum back here. Adds a nice little bit of contrast. To go along with that, we are gonna see our roof rails. Optional with the Apex pack, you can get crossbars and a roof rack there if you want to mount some stuff up. All right, and then moving on from the overall side to the back here, gonna check out some rearward styling. But this is where the angle you can really, really see just how thick this car is, man. I like my cars, how I like my women, super thick, right? So we're gonna see, it's gonna come out here. We're gonna get a wide fender bulge here, and the same thing in the front to match. And with that, we're gonna go down to these rear vents, right? So they look like vents, but it is just an aesthetic piece. I don't mind it too much because I do like the way it looks. I think it enhances the overall look of this vehicle. Just starting off with the back. Taillights, LED, of course, inside and out. So you can see these are both running, which you're gonna get in the Meridian Edition and some other which you're not. LED turn signals, of course, and reverse lights. And then, of course, CX-50 all-wheel drive Skyactiv D turbo. We're gonna go over some engine features when we get to the front. If we look a little bit further down, nice aluminum trim on the bottom here. I think it looks pretty cool. And of course, 2.5-inch exhaust outlets on either side. since we're back here, we're gonna go ahead and check out the trunk space. This does have that automatic tailgate here. So I'm gonna press that button and it's gonna rise up, and it does so fairly quick. One thing I really love about the CX-50 is the increased cargo volume compared to the CX-5. Now, while the overall entrance is a little bit narrower, you still get the nice flat load floor, and it's a much deeper trunk to put a lot more space. So, I mean, I'm fully reaching out here, but yeah, you get a ton of space in there. Of course, you get your spare tire that's right under there, and these two little pockets on either side to put some extra stuff. And if that's not enough space for you, we have these little poles right here that can drop the seats down. You can do one and then two for even more cargo space. Pretty cool. All right, fast forward, guys. Here we are underneath the hood of the 2023 CX-50 Meridian Edition. Gonna go over some of the technical specs and features. This has the 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that we've been known for Mazda for a couple of years now. This and the 23 output is up to about 6 horsepower. When using that premium gas, you're making about 256 horsepower and 320 pound-feet of torque, which is pretty neat. Propels this car to 60, and acceleration is pretty responsive in this with Mazda's dynamic pressure turbo setup. Okay, as far as things like towing, which I know everybody's gonna care about, and a vehicle with this type of capability, you're gonna be towing a modest 3,500 pounds, which is really nice for the size and considering the weight of this vehicle, right? When you do option in to not use that premium, you do drop a little bit in the horsepower numbers. You're going from 256 down to 227, and from 320 pound-feet of torque down to 310. And then before we head in, we're gonna check out some other features here. Of course, in this turbo model, we're gonna average 25 miles per gallon, 29 on the highway, 23 in the city, which is actually up 1 mile per gallon from the turbo CX-5. I'm checking out overall MSRP here. We got it 41,620. So coming in at a good, nice price, comparable to the turbo. Going to get a lot of the turbo features with a little bit more off-road capability. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop on the inside and check out what else the CX-50 Meridian Edition has to offer. All right, guys, so here we are on the interior of the 2023 CX-50 Meridian. Gonna go over some of the nice styling cues. Starting off right here in the middle, we got a nice leather wrap steering wheel with some aluminum trim for your controls for not only the volume, but right here on the right side, your adaptive cruise control, which is pretty cool. Hopping into the gauge cluster here, you do get that LED center display, which is gonna be 6.5 inches, if I'm not mistaken. And it lets you cycle through a few different displays. We're gonna go here and we can see that's your standard. One more puts the fuel economy numbers, and we could put our vehicle right there. Also, which is pretty cool, we have MI Drive, so we can circle through sport as well as off-road mode. And then when you have the tow hitch attached, then you do get the towing mode as well, because like I said, you're towing about 3,500 pounds with this turbo model. Moving back from that gauge, you're gonna check out some more styling features. I do like these vertical air conditioning vents. They look pretty cool, and they feel pretty sturdy when you touch them and adjust them, which I really like, an upgrade over the CX-5. Going to the door panel, we do see the nice leather with this terracotta cross stitch, which looks pretty cool, and a nice kind of like gunmetal gray piece to break it up here on the top. Nice soft touch materials on the whole of the interior, because who says off-road couldn't have a bit of premium, right? So going a little bit further, the door handle, nice aluminum style finish here, and then of course the beautiful terracotta Napa leather, and that's going to be this, once again, soft touch with our mirror controls here, with tips for aluminum. So in this CX-50, we are going to get some options here. You can see to the left our trunk popper button. We do have memory seating here. Of course, this is for your active safety, traction control, and this does have iStop, which is enableable. You can turn off if you're not really a big fan of it. Okay, moving kind of to the right, center display here. We do have a class-leading 10.25-inch display that comes standard with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto for the first time in the Mazda new gen infotainment, which is really cool. While this is controlled with your center dial right here, because Mazda's first priority is, of course, safety, as you know, the ratings do speak for themselves. But when you do have the CarPlay and or Android Auto enabled, then that 10.25-inch display does become a touchscreen, but it is positioned kind of far away, so you do have to reach a little bit to get to it. I got long arms, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, that is one thing I think they could have improved on just a little bit. Going from the top display here, gonna check out some more things. Of course, our climate controls with a nice tactile feedback. Sounds really cool. I really appreciate in this day and age physical buttons, because God knows everything's being integrated into the screen, but this keeps it simple and easy the way things should be, which is a good theme within the Mazda brand and the CX-50 as well. Simple as well as easy and not hard to navigate. right? Some other things here. Of course, we're gonna have heated seats in this trim. Taking a look down, center console, we have our command knob and some other things, navigation, music, the home button here. We do have our electronic parking brake right here with the auto hold button that just keeps your vehicle held when you take your foot off the brake whenever you come to a stop. And then right here we have our drive mode selector. Kind of went over that a little bit earlier. Sport mode, off-road mode, and things like that. As far as transmission in this, we're going to get a 6-speed automatic that's been tested and proven very reliable. It is a little bit outdated, but it is proven to do the job, and it does the job very well. And of course, you do get the option to put it in manual mode if you want to go through those gears yourself. Looking at some more interior styling, the same thing we're going to see on the doors, black leather, terracotta cross stitch follows through to the passenger side. And we have this beautiful terracotta Napa leather seat here, which looks really, really so good. And in my opinion, it is pretty comfortable, even though it's not quite as comfortable as a CX-5 equivalent, let's say, signature trim. These seats are a little bit wider, so it does accommodate the bigger Americans because we are a little bit larger. But as far as styling, we can see the black strip down the middle with that terracotta cross stitch. And then we have a set of a cord design here that's meant to mimic the lacing from a hiking boot, because once again, outdoorsy adventure type of vehicle is the whole vibe with this car. And then as far as the center console, once again, that terracotta that opens up both ways here. And it's pretty deep. You can fit a good amount of stuff in there. A couple water bottles if you really tried. 2 USBs down there with an SD card reader slot. And then just up right here, we do have our frameless rear view auto dimming mirror with home leak right there at the bottom. And then teleport, here we are in the back seat of the CX-50. Gonna check out size and styling. So first, right off the bat, size. One of the things I love the most in the CX-50 is just how much room there is upgraded over the CX-5. Tons of leg room for me. I'm a taller guy, coming in about 6'1", 6'2" when I'm wearing my Heelys here. But knee space, we're good for days. Tons of foot room, headroom, even though this has the panoramic moonroof, which looks really cool, by the way. One of the nice features of the CX-50. Headroom is really good in here. Looking at the door panel, we don't get the same style trim on the top half, but everything from the middle down is the same. So soft touch right here. A little bit of a hard plastic right there, which is a little bit of a bummer, but same thing. Aluminum door handles, nice grab with a built-in kind of, if you can see that, ridges for your finger to grab. Same thing in the front. And then we do get the same beautiful seats designs here in the back as we do in the front. And then down here, we do have our 2 USB cables and of course 2 vents to keep our rear passengers cool. Drop this down, have a little bit cup holders here. We can drop in some fairly big size drink. Probably a nice, good size smart water would fit right in there pretty nicely. Another cool thing in a lot of the Mazdas, which I like, are these clips for your child seat anchors. You pop those out, then you can anchor your child seat in there to keep your kid nice, safe, and secure. And they go in pretty easy. You just put it in and then give it a nice push and it pops right into place. All right, guys, so here we are in the CX-50 Meridian Edition, going for a drive. And what better place to start than the off-road, where this vehicle calls home, right? So it's Mazda, the brand that we all know, we all love, going into a new segment, that off-road, which is rapidly growing and expanding because everybody is wanting to get out more, go adventuring and things to that nature. And Mazda's like, hey, let us get on it too, right? So what separates them from the traditional, for example, direct competitor like a Subaru, Crosstrek, Wilderness, for example, is going to be a lot of those things like the premium touches, the fit and finish, right? The overall driving, the ride quality is very, very familiar with what you would get in a typical Mazda. So you feel right at home even when you're off-road, and this thing has a very, very nice presence. I like the way it glides, really. It really feels like you're in control when you are hitting the trails right here. And overall, just a very easy and pleasant experience. Definitely gonna put your smile on your face the whole ride there and back. All right, guys, and as we come off the trail here, gonna go ahead and flip the switch from our off-road mode to our sport mode to get that spirited driving continued on the pavement, right? So like I said, handling, that's one of the vehicle's biggest characteristics, as it's actually built on the small vehicle architecture platform. which is the Mazda 3 and the CX-30, as well as the Mazda 3 hatchback, which gives it the sense of familiarity when you're driving it. It doesn't feel like you're driving a big, heavy SUV, but the steering is really precise, like a sedan would handle. Once again, when you drive it with the steering, it does feel nice and weighty, but in a good way. It does feel very responsive, which I know some cars, it's kind of lacking in that area, but that's one thing I really like about it. It's really driver focused and engaging. And if I'm going through these corners here, it takes it like nothing. I mean, I barely have to put anything on it. And that too is largely thanks to Mazda's G vectoring control, which automatically distributes torque to the appropriate wheel, because this is, like I said, standard all-wheel drive. Mazda is putting heads on notice here. This is definitely going to be one to really, really consider, as it's a great all-around vehicle that can really do it all. All right, guys, as we do, we're going to get on throttle right here, get a quick little 0 to 60 to feel what it's looking like, a little bit of brake boost in, and we are off, and it's super responsive. And just like that, 60. This vehicle really gallops. Don't try this close course, but yeah, this vehicle gallops and it gets up to speed very quickly. And a lot of what I actually like is you can actually hear a little bit of turbo noise when you let off that accelerator. If you guys kind of listen, yeah, that sounded pretty cool. All right, guys, so that was my comprehensive review on the CX-50 Meridian Edition in this beautiful polymetal gray finish. Guys, let me know if this is the one that you guys are going to pick up over some of its competitors, like the Subaru, like the Toyota RAV4 Adventure. Let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, consider liking, subscribing, and until next time, see you.